few remarks, and he'll take questions from the group. Brad?
Yep, you bet. Thank you. I just want to start off, first of all, by thanking the people at the TaxAct Texas Bowl. Thank you guys for having us, for hosting us. It was an unbelievable experience for our players. The hospitality that we received, we couldn't be more grateful. It was certainly a class act, a well-run venue, and we couldn't be more appreciative. So thank you guys for that. As it pertains to the game, I started off the week by saying obviously there will be no excuses. As you guys can see, that we went to battle here with a pretty limited roster, and yet I'm disappointed in myself that I couldn't have been better for the players today. I fully expected us to win the game. I thought we had a plan that we put together as a coaching staff that would lend to allowing our players to go out and make plays, and that plan was obviously not executed well. So I'm disappointed for our players. The effort and the resiliency that these guys showed in the midst of adversity, it's a hurtful feeling right now as a coach to go out there and fall short today. So I'm extremely proud of our seniors, the guys who chose to play and continue to represent LSU in the right way. Those guys gave so much to this program, and again, I'm disappointed that I couldn't allow those guys to go out and celebrate a victory today. The future at LSU is extremely bright. I can promise you this, regardless of the scenario, the kids that we have at LSU, that they love LSU. It means something for them to put on that jersey every day, and we're going to continue to fight to the end. Coach Kelly's going to take these kids to new heights. I think these guys, they have a well-deserved break coming to them, and they're going to come back inspired. My message to the team following the game was to remember this feeling, allow it to drive you to be better. We start winter conditioning, we start spring practice. I want this feeling to completely drive our players to give more, to be more, and to never feel like this ever again. So with that, I'll take questions you guys have.
Brad, the advocate, just the job that John Trey did tonight, what did you just think of how he kind of stepped into that role to what he was able to provide to the quarterback?
I'm so proud of him. Obviously he hadn't played quarterback since high school. It was an unbelievable opportunity for him to finish his career. He's the epitome of a selfless kid. And what I mean by that is, he probably didn't have the career that he expected to, coming out of high school, and yet he never complained. He never wavered in his commitment to LSU. He never thought of transferring or quitting. He was the polar opposite. In fact, he was positive. He was selfless. He was giving. He was encouraging to his teammates. And so when he got an opportunity to play, the entire team rallied behind him. Obviously, quarterback is not his natural position, and so, there were mistakes that were made today. As a coach, we should have put him in a better position, so those mistakes weren't made. But in terms of the heart and effort that he gave, I couldn't ask for anything more.
What led to the decision to make him the quarterback, and how did you have that conversation with him?
Well, it wasn't anybody else. There were a lot of factors. Obviously Max Johnson transferred. Matt O'Dowd had an injury, where he was unable to play. Garrett Nussmeier, obviously there was a NCAA ruling that was not in his favor, and so he was not allowed to play in this game, what would have cost him a redshirt year. So we didn't want to put him in that position, and so really we were left with Tavian Falk and John Trey. So in regards to the conversation, our mantra has been next man up. We've dealt with so many things, opt-outs, transfers, COVID, injuries. We've had so many guys who've had to step up, so he was one of many. And so I knew the moment the opportunity presented itself, he jumped at it, and he gave everything he had to help us.
Was it Nussmeier's decision not to play time, or was it the team's decision?
I think it was a collective decision. As a coach, I always tell myself I'll never ask a kid to do anything I would ask my own son. And so for him, selfishly, I could have put him in a conundrum where he had to make a decision that affected his future. I didn't want to allow that to happen, so we did everything we could to protect him. I also, again, thought that as coaches we could put together a plan that would allow John Trey to lead us to victory. So, we didn't, in my opinion, lose this game because Garrett didn't play. I don't think it came down to that.
Coach, can you talk about the situation with Cade Ward tonight, why he wasn't able to play, and also, too, just how challenging it is to game plan when you kind of have a feel for who's not going to be in the game?
So Cade was injured in practice. I won't speak to what it was, but he obviously was unable for the game, or unavailable, excuse me, for the game. How difficult is it? Incredibly difficult. We had 38 scholarship players, is what we had. So, I don't know what Kansas State had, but again, that wasn't an excuse for us. Our players never blinked. When I think the people outside of our program made that a bigger deal than we did. We can only put 11 on the field. That's it. So it doesn't matter, the number in the locker room. Our kids have a lot of pride in being LSU Tigers. We fully expect to win every game we play. Doesn't matter against who it is or what the scenario or circumstances are. We expect to win, and so that wasn't an excuse for us tonight. I let the team down. I didn't put together a well enough executed plan that could have allowed us to win it, and so that's on me.
Coach, maybe not an excuse, but how much did the war of attrition factor into the game?
I'm sorry, pardon me?
How much did the war of attrition, not much depth factor?
I did my best to protect these guys. Obviously with us being limited, I had to, be smart in practice, and we couldn't afford to get one kid hurt. We could not. We were that thin, and so obviously being limited with numbers, it did affect the way that we practiced. We probably could have done more in regards to the physicality, in the nature of practice, but there was also great risk in getting our guys injured. So it showed up obviously in the first half, particularly we tackled poorly, and so I have a lot of regret about that. But I had to make a decision. In regards to how we practiced, I'd rather have had our guys available for today and allow them to go out and compete than get them beat up in practice and not allow the game to go on. So, again, that's on me.
Coach, there have been a lot of teams during this bowl season that have been in the same situation as you guys with a limited roster for one reason or another, and they haven't played. Hindsight, should you have played this game tonight?
Absolutely. There's 10 seniors in our locker room that all wanted to play. And we would not cheat them out of an opportunity to play. We don't back down from the challenge. That ain't who we are. Ain't who we stand for. LSU. We're going to play this game. You know what I mean? It's important for us. Every opportunity we get to compete, every opportunity we get to go represent our brand, we're going to take advantage of it. And so, no, there was never a thought in our mind of not competing or playing. We expected to win this game.
Coach, what did this experience mean for you in your future at LSU? Like, what did you learn through this experience?
Well, I think it's immeasurable, the amount of experience that I got over the last month in regards to leadership, managing a roster, working with coaches, game planning, game time management. It gave me a completely different perspective from being an assistant coach. That being said, I feel like I was ready for this opportunity, and so I embraced it. What I did learn really more so than anything is that, a head coach is really only as strong as the support that he has. And so, we obviously had a limited amount of, assistant coaches available, but the guys that stepped up are analysts, quality control guys, GAs, the effort that they put in to coaching our guys, I can't be more thankful for. And so, again, we busted our tail to put together a plan that would give us a chance to win, and I didn't get it executed.
What can you share about your conversations with Coach Kelly and what you guys want to attack here in the coming weeks and months?
Yeah, you bet. Well, I think he's got a great plan. Obviously, with his experience, he's won, at really every level, and so in the conversations that we've had, really it's about, managing our roster right now. We have to recruit our roster. What I mean by that is keeping guys, in the program, and then obviously, creating a wholesale buy-in. And I think that he's been highly successful at that. I think our guys are excited to turn the page and go compete for him. Right now recruiting obviously is a big piece of it, and so we're heavily involved with that. With trying to acquire new talent, that we can get in and develop and allow us to go play. So, I've been excited about the staff that he's hired. I think he's gone out and he's hired winners. He's brought people in, that fit the culture that he wants to build. I really feel optimistic about the direction that LSU football is going to go. So, our kids have nothing but great things to say about our strength staff. Those guys jump right in the middle of this thing and have begun coaching those guys. I think there's a ton of excitement around this change.
Coach, you guys could have easily folded, fighting back like you guys did till the very end. In your leadership, what did it mean to you to see them?
There was about, roughly 2 minutes left in the game, and I obviously had to to make a decision. You know, do you just eat it and let the clock run out and concede victory? And that is who we are. You know, we're from South Louisiana. We fight to the end. You know, we represent toughness. That's who we are. I was taught that from the time I was a little boy. You finish what you start. You know, and so yeah, there was a very slim chance we could come back and win that game. But to see our guys score a touchdown as time ran out, to me, it's really metaphoric for who we are. You know, we're gonna fight to the end. The circumstances, the adversity, what's going on around us, it doesn't matter. We ain't ever gonna quit. You know, and so I hope our players take that with them. You know, not only in football but in life. You know, when the chips are down, you know, when you take a punch, you don't fold. You keep fighting, you keep fighting, you keep fighting. So we did that today. We just fell short.
Coach Davis, bench went through warm-ups. Was the plan always not for him to play, or what happened with Jack?
So the bench is recovering from COVID. Obviously, you guys can understand what COVID does to you know, our young people and you know, really adults for that matter too. So you know, he had a bout with COVID. He was committed to playing. I don't know that he was physically, you know, perhaps in the best condition, and so we wanted to limit him to really not allow him to go out and get hurt. I think if we would have, you know, allowed him to be utilized in a heavier role, he would have jumped at that opportunity. But again, for me, I'm never going to ask a kid to do something I wouldn't ask my own children to do. And so we limited him, and we try to protect him. His future at LSU is going to be bright as the sun, you know. And so putting him out there and risking, you know, further injury was not wise, and so we limited him today.
Coach Cage.
One final question, please.
Pete Cage had a good game on defense. What do you think it meant to guys like that who might not normally have this sort of spotlight to be in?
You bet. That's why guys come to LSU. You know, it really is hard to explain. You know what it means to be able to strap up and go out there on that field and wear that purple and gold. There were so many guys that got their first, you know, quote unquote opportunities today. You know, Jaquan Lloyd. You know, Greg Penn, seeing him out there running around. You know, obviously John Trey Kirkland. You know, there were so many guys. You know, Pete Cage, for example, as well. It really is hard to explain. I mean, the sense of joy that those guys had to go out there and be able to lay it all on the line for LSU. You know, those kids have a ton of pride. It means something for them to play here. The teammates rallied around them. And you know, again, I wish I could have done a better job to allow those guys to have success today. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Sorry.